Hello. Hopefully I have the right gain level. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's turn that down a little bit. And there. All right. Hello. I am Drew Universe, and it is time for an impromptu live stream. There's only going to be a few of you, but that's fine. The VOD will be up for everybody else. I've got a special package that I'm going to move us over to by... how can I do this? My second monitor is in the way, so let me change my setup a little bit. And let's see how awesome this new camera is. If we do that... I mean, it kind of works. Okay, I'm going to use the backup plan. Hold up. I'll get it. I'll get it. Just got to do some fancy positioning. This package just arrived, and I am super excited. I know it's blurry. I'm going to fix that. And let's zoom out and turn off the blur, and there we are. We have a special package. Good evening. Should I do it like Dracula? Good evening. I could do a decent Dracula. Okay, so we have a package. We're gonna need some gloves. When handling rare materials, especially this box is gonna have some rare materials in it. Wear gloves. So worth it. Okay. Glove number 1. And then glove number 2. Okay. Okay. This box is very special. Now, I already showed off the magazines from the other 2 boxes. Some of that stuff is indeed super rare, but this goes to another level. It really does. There may not be much, but there will be something. Based on my research, anyway. So technically, I can only give you a 99% guarantee. But my source should be reliable. I just gotta figure out which way to open it. The whole thing is completely taped. It's like my mother did this. Does anybody have a mother who would like send them birthday cards and Christmas cards, and there's always like a huge excess of tape on the envelope? Like, it wasn't just on that V crease, it was like all over the whole thing. It's a whole layer of tape. But these materials are very important, and my contact is very good at packaging things appropriately, and I am certainly not minding the extra safety. Just not sure how to open this, but we will figure it out. As usual, if y'all have any questions in general, I will answer them to the best of my ability on fandom stuff, LOD stuff, whatever stuff, but mostly this is going to be about foam. This is going to be about foam pads of some kind. Wow, this seems like a lot. This is a very, very, very special... I could use these for something else. Little craft trinkets. Duct tape for presents. I believe it. Oh, this one's right on top. Designplex. This is the big mystery one. I'm praying that my source is correct on this. I am so praying. I'm not particularly religious, but I'm talking to the universe right now that I really need this to have something good in it. All these pieces of styrofoam, very nice. I mean, it's not styrofoam, but it looks like foamy of some kind. There are several magazines. I think there's 5 or 6 magazines. The Designplex magazine is isolated from the others for some reason. Okay. It's very cold because it's cold out there today. A box in a box. Nesting doll. Oh my goodness. Yep. PlayStation D magazine. There's all of these pieces. I should have had a thing ready for some garbage collection. It's like extra wrapped. That's so cool. Okay. Another Famitsu. And what might be the holy grail of CG World should be in here. I think we got CG World. Yep, it's in the bottom. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna have so much fun. Look at this cover. Look at that Dragoon. This is some kind of 3D figure of some kind. It doesn't look like the face of anyone we know. So it's either a concept or fan-made or something. I'm gonna dig for you and find out. Thanks in part to our volunteer translator team, because I can only do machine translations to get the gist of things. But holy cow. We have some things to do here. I kind of want to dive straight into Designplex. That's what I'm super curious about. These are in such good condition. I need a physical museum space. I'm running out of room. Okay, get that in there. First, Designplex. Are y'all excited? I'm freaking excited. I kind of have to be as the #1 fan on the planet, but I mean, still must have knowledge. Okay, so that's not needed right now. Are we ready to dive in and see what's in here? Chat box not updating. Is the chat box not working? Looks like my stuff's coming through. I'll keep an eye on it. So originally this package was supposed to arrive last night, so I tried to hang on in the stream, anxiously waiting. I was like, it's gonna be here by 9 p.m. Nope, moved to the next day. So it did arrive today, just before 9 p.m. We're gonna have to figure out where LOD is in this magazine. A lot of these magazines just feel extra dense. Like some of the North American magazines could be pretty dense, but a lot of them were thinner. I feel like Tips and Tricks was often a thin one, or at least it felt thin. And some of these, like the Famitsu ones, are super dense. I have no idea what any of the context is for this stuff. Now, Designplex isn't just about games. I know that much. God. What is this, old school Photoshop? This looks like an old screenshot. Yep, Adobe Photoshop. There it is, 5.0. Not even 7. Man. The early days of 3D modeling. Some kind of booklet? What is that? There's a booklet in here with a perforated edge that you're supposed to tear off, apparently. What in the world? Some art? Okay. What a weird thing to come across. That seems a bit graphic. I assume this is a PG-13 magazine. LED is really in here. It's gonna be incredible. Alright, I'm gonna speed through this a little more. Oh my god, there it is. Oh, what? Okay, so this is something else. Is the magazine backwards reading? Is that why? Yep, okay. Oh, we got a slide here. A couple slides here. Alright, need to get my phone to translate. Translate. Here we go. Let's do image. I have to open the slider thing. Alright, what does it say? Let's try to get you all a better picture here. I know the chat thing's in the way. Bear with me. So we got 2 FMV stills. Let's see what this says. The PlayStation game Legend of Dragoon was produced over a period of about three years with meticulous art direction. Its impressive graphics have earned it a good reputation. We spoke to Kenichi Iwata, who was of the art director, about anecdote, talking about the episodes surrounding the production of this game. Oh my god, there's storyboards. Okay. So over here, I need to give y'all a better view. Let me find a box or something to do that with. This might be too lightweight, but we're gonna try it. Okay, we'll start with that for now. And where did I put my phone? Oh my god. Holy fuck, there's new stuff here. There's new stuff here. Definitely new stuff. Let me bring the mic a little closer. And translating, the PlayStation software Legend of Dragoon, released on December 2nd, 1999, is a role-playing game that boasts a fun gameplay and impressive graphics with meticulous art direction. It seems that a lot of effort was put into not only the gameplay, but also the CG movies that create the world. Kenichi Iwata, who was mainly in charge of art direction, spoke about this work, which took about 3 years to create from conception. And I'll bring in the camera closer to look at the individual pictures. Step 1. Movie production started about a year after the game started development in general. Iwata had experience about making movies about robots and weapons, but never made a movie about human characters. This was the first time we had a movie with Ichi as the main character, human as the main character. I felt that shading was often neglected, so I took the time to work on that aspect. At this point, we decided to make the subject look as balanced as possible. We tried to create a balanced environment as well. Okay, so we'll just look at the FMV stills really quickly. I am like running out of cable length. Shoot. Alright, let's crimp things down here a little bit, get it closer. So it's some really rich color of the FMV stills. What I wouldn't give for the source files of these, you have no idea. But over here we've got some new stuff. Some of it I've covered before, but there's a new picture there. So let's go over to that page. If I can actually... Forgive me. Alright. Step 2. Character design. Began early in the game's production, as it's an important element related to the story concept. The characters were designed in collaboration with the character designers on the game production side, as they were used in both the movie and the game. Iwata was primarily responsible for the design of the costumes that the characters wear after transforming into dragoons. He took into account the reactions of the staff around him, as well as the work of H.R. Giga, the character designer for the movie Alien. The aim was for a biological, organic design. Iwata wanted a more grotesque texture, but he took the opinions of the other staff into account and kept it from being too grotesque. I would love to see that version. Like, ultra realistic, kind of gnarly looking dragon armor. Oh god. So now we know there's an Alien inspiration here. The movie Alien. That's incredible. I'll read step 3 before we go into the juicy pictures. A total of 15 movies were produced, each about 30 minutes long. For each movie, between 3 and 10 storyboards were drawn. Iwata was in charge of the art direction for not only the movies, but also the game. Therefore, due to the workload, he did not have time to check the details of each work that was submitted. Therefore, he decided to prepare a storyboard that contained almost as much information as a layout sheet. Specifically, the hand-drawn storyboards were scanned and colored in Photoshop. This allowed the color system of the images to be checked in advance. It also made it easier to give specific instructions in terms of direction. Conversely, for scenes where work had progressed with storyboards without color, the colors of the design involved in the cut were... God bless my phone. I have to change the screen timeout thing. For scenes where work had progressed without storyboards... For storyboards without color, the colors of the design involved in the cut were reflected at the coloring stage, which tended to make the image of the movie scattered, which was eventually corrected. And then behind the scenes, generally speaking, storyboards are still images drawn on paper. Recently, however, it seems that more and more productions are digitizing storyboards, drawn on boards with digital cameras, passing them into a timescale such as Adobe Premiere, and playing them back to check the flow of the images. Even towards the end of the production of this movie, we imported the storyboard into Adobe Premiere to prepare a moving storyboard. We used it to create the movie while adjusting the length of each cut and to match the timing of the pictures and the voiceover during the dialogue recording stage. The moving storyboard allows the user to see the cuts continuously from their point of view, making it easier to understand the composition. So they're just sharing some of the working process that they had to go through. So I'm going to show you some juicy pictures. You've seen some of these before if you read my article on CG World, the old CG World magazine. It has some of these pictures, but they were, some of them were overlapping each other. I think, you know what? I have them right here. Wait a minute. I have them right here. I forgot I prepared these. Let's take a quick comparison. So some of this stuff may be similar. Where's the pictures? Where are the pictures? Here we are. Okay, pictures. So here's the thing. We knew about this years ago. I documented this on our website, legendofdragoon.org. The problem was, the common render of Dart, his sword is just cutting right through these incredibly precious images of what seems to be a older version of Dart and Rose. The sword's just right in the way. And here the images are undisturbed. So let's take a look at that. And there's also new images of Shauna and possibly also Shauna or someone else. So let's take a look. Okay. So we've got really old Rose, more recent Rose. What's probably really old Dart, because the sword isn't colored in yet and the wings aren't detailed. More recent Dart. Looks like you're getting a decent enough picture. And then on the left, I don't know who the hell... This has got to be Shauna. This is a great picture of Shauna in a pose we've never seen before. And then this might be Shauna, but it might be Shirley. So let's see what the... I'm going to revise the... one second. I need to change my timeout length on this phone. It's a new phone because my last one gave out display options. How do I change the timeout duration? Time. Timeout setting. It says it's set for 10 minutes, but screen timeout after 2 minutes of inactivity, 10 minutes of inactivity. Sorry about the wait. Let's get back to it and see what that says. Okay, looking at the pictures, a work in progress design compared to the... It still looks different from the official design. Rough edges are visible. The final design of Dragoon, scanning the hand-drawn picture and then painting it in Photoshop. So these were scanned in and then painted in Photoshop. And they don't say who this is, but I'm wondering if it might be Shirley. Actually, let's try to get it better. That is so cool. You can tell there's a much more grotesque look to the design, like the fleshy bits and things down here. I would love to see a version of that. We could even bring this to life with Severed Chains and the modding potential it's going to have. Jeez. Storyboards for the intro cinematic. So deeply colored. Like, I'm so used to storyboards usually being uncolored. They all look like things we've seen before. Damn, that's impressive. I'm gonna check chat for a sec. Yeah, it looks like Rose had white hair. I think it's closer to the green that they mentioned in one of the old interviews. But maybe they had plain white or blonde hair at some point as well. Let's see. These shots are from multiple FMVs. We've got the intro FMV with the commander. We've got the ending FMV. We've got the Divine Tree FMV. We have the Dragon Campaign FMV with some kind of weird stuff going on that picture. These are all cameras or lights or something. Particles flying in front, because yeah, they had to use multiple programs. So there's a lot of technical stuff in here. I don't think I'm gonna have time to translate all of it for you. And some of these shots are in the old CG World article. So it looks like they reuse some of the same shots. They talk about the music. This is treasure. This is going to be a very high priority. Unfortunately, it's only a couple pages, but this is incredible. This was absolutely worth every penny I spent to acquire. Most of these are running for, and by most of these I mean there's like 2 or 3 out there, are running for like $60 to $120. I got mine for a little bit cheaper, but it hurt the bank. Okay, so that's Designplex. I need a place to put these. We go over there for now. Alright, we need to check the other magazines. All of this will be documented. We're going to work on it together in the translation channel of the Discord server. And you will have all the deets at your disposal. Whew, that was a lot. That was super exciting. We have a new picture of a Dragoon in a completely different art style. Like, I mean, the armor at the top was similar, but those fleshy bits over the front of the chest was just so incredible. Now, some of these other magazines may only have common information, so be ready for that. It's not always going to be like, it's kind of a Pandora's box here. Just bear with me. Let's turn the camera that way a little bit. Alright, I'm going to open up the next product. I am so happy I got acquired. I got acquired. I am so happy I got acquired. I'm so happy I got a hold of the Designplex magazine. I'm going to need that blade again. Where did I put you? Bear with me as I open this up very carefully. This thing feels like a piece of cardboard, but it's apparently like a magazine, so It looks like a magazine. Okay. Very carefully. All right. Oop. It's like a piece of cardboard. Is this thing in bad shape? All right, let's carefully dive in here. This is PlayStation D. Oh my God, it's right there. The first page I randomly pick, it's Legend of Dragoon. Look at this. Oh. High-res render of Linus. Nice. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo. Common. We'll check in the pictures first, because of course I have to stare at the pictures. Render of Shauna. Lavis in the Prairie. Shots of Bale. Couple world map. Which world map did they use? The newer one? Probably the newer one. Maybe. Story summary stuff. How long is this? It's a decent number of pages. Define tree. They have a shot of Gigantos and Menintos. Okay. So this might just be like a overall capture of the game's information. Is there any more in here? Oh, there's cardboard. Oh, there's a disc. There's a disc in here. There is a disc. I don't know if I've reviewed this content before, but I'm guessing I haven't. Oh my God, it's never been accessed. There's a... It's hard to see because the light is washing this out, but there's like a flap here, and it's never been opened. This disc is in perfect condition. Oh my God. Alright, so we're going to translate some of this. Oh, this is great. This is great. Right in the front of the magazine. That's an advertisement. First picture. First story. When you research this game as much as I have, you start recognizing the characters by heart, even though you know nothing about Japanese characters. So let's do a little translating. Has the release info. I need something to hold this. It keeps wanting to close. Something light-ish. My old phone. Just to hold that for a moment. Alright, let's do some reading. "10,000 years ago, the legendary being Dragoon rescued humans from the rule of the winged people. Protagonist inherits the powers. Powerful battle scene. Just making sure there aren't any great secrets. The game begins with an invasion of the Sandora Empire. Take a closer look at the game's character system and story. They have ages and height with short bios. Linus described as being cynical. Mysterious character. So just some character summaries there. Going over the game systems, additions, combat probably, story. Okay. And we'll look at the character stuff near the bottom here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright, now I'm going to try and show. These are some portraits to represent the different species. The first one is a Giganto. It's in the manual. We didn't know what it was for a long time, but it's a Giganto. That's this one. This one is a Meninto. There are 3 of these, sort of this shape of character in the Lohan minigames with finding the bird and one of the 3 hats. Rare facts are in here: 1 meter, 3 to 8 meters. The dragon, the human, the wingly. Now this is very important. This right here is very important. It seems random and innocuous, but the reason this picture is important is because there is a picture of this character head to toe on the internet, but it's incredibly low resolution. This is the first time we have a good shot of the face. That is much higher clarity for the upper body portion here. That's great. I still need to find this picture in like the whole thing in better quality. So that's awesome. I will translate a piece of this. Review about the 108 species. Battle took place 10,000 years ago called the Dragon War. Combined to do 10,000 years have passed and a new battle is about to break out. Fate of the universe. Mysterious Virage. Enormous power for dragons. Okay. Then they talk about the battle stuff. Maker's comment. Maker's comment, what is that? With its extraordinary graphics and gripping additions, once you've experienced the exhilaration of pulling off a move, you'll be angry at yourself for failing at crucial moments. I'll do it this time, you think, as you move on to the next battle. You're already under the spell of LOD. Keep training hard until the game is released. Okay. And what are these notes? Those are the controls. Okay. So nothing too juicy except for that portrait. That's fine. I've got to check out what's on this disc. We'll not do that tonight. Looks like the next one will be this weird, incredible... What does that say? There's a tag on it. Fragile CD DVD. Another one? Okay. I'm down with that. Yeah, I've looked at some of the Dengeki discs. Usually it's just a typical demo of LOD, but there are some rare ones out there. PlayStation Club, for example. PlayStation Club, there's a double CD set, and it had the, what was it, like a 7-minute audio interview, which we have on either my channel or this, I think it's on my personal YouTube channel. And then it also has very rare concept art that we still have not been able to extract the raw files of yet, because they're in like 1 pixel slivers, vertically or horizontally, so there's like 600 slivers of them. It's really annoying. I could just screenshot the emulator, but yeah, so there's some rare stuff out there. Alright, throw this to the side. Let's look at the next magazine. I'm pretty sure all the Dengeki discs have been dumped online, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check just to be sure. This is Hyper PlayStation Remix. I believe we have this disc documented. I'll have to check. There is the disc. Hyper PlayStation Remix number 12. I have to make sure of that. I might have already looked at that before. Okay. So let's take a look here. Yeah, LOD is probably at the top, it looks like. Okay. Various game coverage. Where is Legend of Dragoon? Is it near the front again? Crash Team Racing. Ah, here we are. Okay. So I had seen pictures of this from Sadikyo as a sample. This one is special for at least one of the pictures. Here we are. Okay. Legend of Dragoon. Some basic screenshots from the front of the game. The accuracy system, which is very hard to see in practice, unfortunately. But someone did some experiments to have just a text-based accuracy system. It's really cool. We'll be covering that a little bit as part of Dragoon Fest as we go forward. Describing additions, describing Dragoons a little bit. A little bit of party member info. Limestone Cave, Prairie. So it's kind of like a little walkthrough and just preview of things. This page is different. So this page is glossy. Most magazine pages are glossy. This page is more of like a matte for some reason. Not sure why it suddenly switches to matte. But this is a very special book because it's the only, or one of the only places I've seen with a complete shot of the Queen Fury in 3D. That is a full freaking 3D model of the entire ship in really high quality. So we'll be scanning that in. I do recall translating some of this before, so I don't think any of this is too juicy here. But we'll be translating the whole thing just to be sure. And that might be all of that coverage. Okay. Next magazine. Oh, this is a cute little ad. Little penguin playing PlayStation. I need a drink. Oh, excuse me. This is fantastic. All right. Oh, I need to check if there's any info about that figure as well. Let me check that again. Is there an index? Do we have an index? We have an index. Oh, there it is, right in the front. Hold on. Hold up. That's that figure. I need to know what that says. I need to know what that says. Cover art direction. Cover object. Okay, there's some names here. Magazine credits. Darn, that it doesn't say anything else. Alright, I'm gonna look up those names and get back to y'all. I wish there was some kind of note about that. And I know it's specifically for LOD because it literally says The Legend of D. The Legend of D. So there are only so many games that start with The Legend of D, and like it's a count of one, okay? Oh, I have to change this. Alright. I'm overheated. Let's open the window some more. Need more 30-degree air in here. Yeah, y'all are probably going to recognize some other games that I don't. Alright, let's open this up. Thank you all for joining me on this impromptu little adventure. You certainly didn't have to, but I had to share this as soon as it got in the door because I've been waiting an extra 24 hours. Oh, hey, Valkyrie profile. Someone was just saying that in the chat. There it is. You know, someone... I have sort of a contact with their fandom. I need to talk to them and see if they would be of interest of this magic little book. This little book of something. I don't know what this is. Oh well. We're just going to keep that in there. Well, no, I'm going to keep it separate so I can... No, I should leave it in here so I remember which magazine it was from. Complete referencing is important. Come on, Drew. Bunch of fishy looking Santas. Alright, we got the index. Can I spot it without needing a translation tool? It's 3 words. Where are you? Not that one. That's too long, or is... No, that's too long. Here it is. Page 106. Don't even need a translator. Let me show you. 100. Oh, is it right next to Valkyrie profile? It was right behind the Val. I was almost on the exact page. Wow, Shauna's render is very large. They got some random circles all over the place here. This is a spattering of a design. X3, X5, X10, X8. What is this? Recommended item counts? Normally they recommend 5 healing items, 3 attack items, 2 purification items, 3 angels prayers, and 5 other items. Just before a boss battle they recommend 10 healing, 8 attack, 5 purification, 5 angels prayer, and 5 other. Okay. That's not something I see very often. Magic power. They recommend certain characters to throw item magic because based on the MAT values. Walk through with a flowchart. Yep, okay. They even cover the mini games, the 4 attractions they call them. Newcomer Hatchel. Oh, newcomer. Newcomer is 2 words, apparently. With 2 M's. Yeah, I wonder about the statue as well. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to try and find out. So, walk through. Character info. Oh, the senior warden with red armor. Yep. I remember that. Goofus Rodriguez. Oh, somebody has marked this magazine. They used black pen to circle all the stars, and the stars are where the Stardust are. I guess that's kind of clever, putting a star where the Stardust are. I mean, it's in the word. Okay, this is all basic info. Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay. This is good because... there's a 3D of Emperor Dole, something we don't see very often. His face is pretty detailed here. You can see some wrinkles on his skin, possibly some scarring. This is very detailed, and when you look at his armor like this, it looks more like the typical Sandoran armor that the commanders wear. Same kind of color profile. That's amazing. Unfortunately, he's mostly covered up. But that's okay. Let's get this back in there. Let's get this right back in here. Oh, and they go straight into disc 2. You gotta think about like how much they had to condense this information because the game is so long. Shop data, Stardust locations, going up and down the castle, the banquet scene. Everybody looks the same. Gotta check for any little minute differences there might be. Oh! New Virage picture. Shit, I dropped the book again. The little book. New Virage. Look at that. Virage render. This is so cool. I have never seen this before, so probably none of you have seen it either. Jeez. That looks so cool. We have got to recreate that. Oh my god. You're super welcome, Matt. It's nice to have some people in the fandom who can somewhat relate to what I kind of go through. Like, I'm not a librarian. I'd probably be great for the job, but I'm not. I haven't worked at a library, but as an archivist, and not having really any other archivists in the fandom besides me who, like, practice doing the archivism for LOD, it can be pretty lonely. So it's nice to know that some people really understand and cherish this stuff. So thank you so much for being here. Oh my god. That is so cool. This is what I'm talking about. So, like, even in the North American coverage, now 99% of the time when you're reading these gaming magazines as a kid or whatever, it's going to be a preview or a review, and most anything that's shown will be what you see in the game when the game comes out, and that's fine. And the info in the North American releases was pretty scant in terms of rare knowledge in the end. But there were still a couple situations. One had like a review, and it was a pretty good amount of coverage, and they didn't even say anything particularly glowing about the game, but there were hyper rare images that I have not found anywhere else of some kind of succubus demon thing and like a dragon that looks like the size of a dragonfly. I don't know. You're gonna see it. It's a whole because I'm trying to collect all this magazine info into one place for our website. That's gonna be one of the new sections, probably launching in the next week or two, hopefully in 1 week or less. What a treat for the last page to happen to be a new render of Virage. That is a treat. You never know where a piece of rare stuff is going to show up. Oh my god. I'm having feelings. Anyone else having feelings? The book fell out again. Oh. Oh, pardon the squeaking of the wheels. I need to get new wheels for this chair, but this was more important. Save the Valkyrie profile book so I can talk to them. The to-do list is ever growing. Famitsu magazine. I've read more Famitsu magazines, so I'm more familiar with the format. But I don't remember what's going to be in this one in particular. Wow. And there's still like 2 or 3 more to go. I am so excited. I am so freaking excited. I've already been at this for 50 minutes. That's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. We ready for more? Are we ready for more? I'm glad you can make it too, Ravik. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Shattered chain. Shattered is a cool word, but it's severed chains, just to be clear. People have called it many things. It is severed chains. After the quote, "You are free to sever the chains of fate that bind you." SSX Tricky, that was a time. OG Xbox looking a little different. Interesting. That looks different than the launch product. Huh. I might have to read up on that too. I'm just going to read the whole damn magazine. It'll take like an hour, but... let's see. The cover art... Alright, Legend of Dragoon. Where are you? Is that it right at the top? 27? Unless LOD turned into a volleyball game, probably not. Oh, part of why I'm doing this is the Famitsu also has sales charts, and this is like a weekly magazine, so we can intimately track LOD's sales figures here to some level. It's pretty interesting stuff we could do. Where are you? 46? Not confident. Might be 46. I can also just page through or use the translation thing. I'm just seeing if I can check it with my eyes. $46? Nope, not Legend of Dragoon. Let's just page through. Oh no, it's a baby. What do we got here? Miscellaneous games. Smash Bros? You're in here somewhere. I'm gonna find you. Even if I have to translate the index. Dig Dug advertisement. See that character, recognize it instantly, you know? Sonic Crash. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to check the index. It's hiding from me. Alright. Translate index. Magical Vacation. That's a comic book. Where are you? I'm not seeing it right away. Which magazine is this? Weekly Famitsu. Where's the volume number? 2/1/2002. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Gotta look this up on my document. Hey, Sor. We're gonna check my document. Magazine. Magazine listings. Individual issues. Weekly Famitsu. February 1st, 2001. Follow-up to a vote for fans. Follow-up to the vote. Okay, I may need to let me check that index again real quick. I may have to do this on my own time to figure out where that vote thing is. There was some kind of community vote that they held, and I really wanted to document that. It was about Legend of Dragoon in particular. $71. Maybe 71? Not sure. Okay, let's scan this real quick. What's in the box? What is this? Maybe it's in this section. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to check this on my own time. Let's move to the next one. We've had our lull, now let's get back to something exciting. What's in here? Almost mint condition. An army of pocket stations. That's pretty cool. A giant horse coming through the door. It's a pocket station. Derby Stallion. Derby Stallion, okay. Giant PlayStation. Arc the Lad advertisement. This is much easier to read. PS2. What magazine is this? Hyper PlayStation without the remix, November 99. Hyper PlayStation, November 99, unknown. This is unknown, so I wanted to find out what was in here. Is it 74? 74? Might be 74. Weekly Hyper PlayStation. That's a URL I want to check. See if archive.org's preserved that at all. 74. It's actually a lot of pages. Possible poster. Possible. Just to fold out. Okay. $82. Oh, there it is. 74. Oh, that's cute. For the screenshots, they have this little sword thing that they drew to pin all the pictures on the magazines, sort of. Oh, they have the mouse mount thing. That's kind of special. All right. Mentioned SIGGRAPH, KKKK. Let's translate a little bit of this. See if I can find anything juicy in here. is surrounding photos are beautiful still images. One frame of the movies. Level of the program is very high at SIGGRAPH, a world event at the sort of the CG festival. Unique system. A new standard. What does that say? What are you saying? What? What? That can't be right. What? This is not possible. I don't understand what this is supposed to say, but I'm going to read the rough translation. It's probably wrong, but... Character original drawing. Okay, I think it's translating more accurately now. What seems to be the worst translation says this is a character from the Monster Hunter series. Monster Hunter didn't exist yet. No way. So I think it's trying to say movie series. Transforms into a character from the movie. Is this guy writing it? Okay, yeah. So, for whatever stupid reason, the worst translation of that is Monster Hunter. I would have had so many questions as a huge fan of MH1. God, that was a moment. False alarm. In the battle scenes of LOD, glimpse of revolutionary combat. Let's see here. Just kind of describing the characters in short summary. Recapping the story, 108 species, Black Monster, da-da-da-da-da. Dart's adventure begins under the shadow of the Black Demon. And that might be all. This is for a different game. Okay. So that might be all. Looks like nothing too juicy here. We having a good time, everybody? Yeah, the Black Monster frame was really good. Almost no coverage showed the Black Monster. Okay. It's the last magazine. CG World. Now, there were a couple CG World magazines I was trying to acquire. I could only find one of the ones I needed. I have a different one. That's where I found those pages I showed earlier. There's this one, and there's another one. Either this one or the third one is a review of the same material, but may have additional stuff. So either this is that, or this is a other completely different set of content, and we're gonna find out right now. This is probably gonna be a very nice finale, even if it is mostly the same as the other one. Yes. Okay. Now let's make this a little easier on myself. Yeah, this magazine is designed backwards as far as we're used to. We're gonna need to find the index. Advertising some computers to buy. Advertisement. Big globe advertisement. But is it actually the back of the book? I don't... Is this the back of the book? It's like the cover's on the other way. Digital video, X-Men. Okay, contents. I need something to hold this down. All right, let's check the index. CG, Regendo, I'm not sure, so we'll just use my phone. I don't see it, so unless there's a second page of contents, I'm gonna have to page through this manually. Sorry for the squeaky wheels. Oops, sorry about that. I am excited. So CG World is all about just computer-generated imaging across the board. Final Fantasy Spirits Within, I recognize that anywhere. Incredible. I'm gonna have to read this on my own. So, some of you might have been loosely aware of this, but obviously CG wasn't just in games. There were CG TV shows like Reboot. These two people have tongues that are very long in that middle picture. Don't know what that's about. So there would be a lot of just animated shorts and things, or CG moments in movies that would also get highlighted. There's a lot of different stuff here. So this magazine didn't just cover games, they covered all the different categories and types of animation. I happen to grow up a little bit with the demo scene. For those who do know the demo scene, yay, hello. If you don't know the demo scene, it's basically just audio-visual, non-interactive presentations, kind of like CG shorts you might find on YouTube these days. Just for the sake of making it, just to entertain somebody for anywhere between like a minute and several minutes. The demo scene really inspired me growing up in school. I think I actually found it while I was on a computer at school. I know you're in here somewhere. And you often see these like screenshots that show how the process is done to make these various shots for the films or the games or whatever. Green screens, even back then. Way before the general public had access or like awareness of them. Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting all the notifications tonight. I'm just gonna stand up. Some kind of ring of fire here. I know you're in here somewhere. Nope. Probably X-Men? Yeah, X-Men. Flintstones. Or whatever that was. Some kind of mech thing. Tomb Raider. A bunch of Tomb Raider stuff here. Character drawings. That character is picking their nose. Wonderful. That's just what I wanted to show on live stream tonight. Angels. Airplanes. I need something a little recognizable here. Okay. Different eye types, rabbit, cat, horse. That's not a cat, that's a dragoon. Obviously. Or a dragon. Somebody in a kimono, some kind of fighting scene. I need to find you in here. Where are you? I may have to refer to my What the hell is that? What creature is this? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Tekken. Where are we? Oh! Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon right here. It's gotta be more than that. Did they only give him a little tiny section? Some kind of booklet? CG School Express Special Book. I guess I'll have to check that too. Crap. Do that. And quickly some kind of map. Camera stuff, I'll have to check that. Look, it's the number 108. I've got the right magazine, apparently. Oh, maybe it's in the index as well. So this was page something. Why are there no page numbers where there could be page numbers? 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 148. That's not an index. Those back issues. I need an index. 146. 145. What's it say about 145? Bytrax Co. No, that's not. This index is weird. Okay. Not sure what's going on there, so we'll just go right to the page. What is all this about? Soft image 3D. This is a different group. Need to turn on auto rotate. Legend of Dragoon. Okay, Legend of Dragoon is in the middle section here. I'm gonna have to take a second to figure out what this is. Let me try and rig this up a little nicer. Let's go like this. That's good for now. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for the donation, Matt. I appreciate that. I just saw the notification. Damn, that's very kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that y'all care so much. Alright. I need like a brick or something. Okay, let's really get in here. It's doing it like sideways. CEO of the company responsible for cinematics in the Legend of Dragoon. So some of the FMVs were outsourced. We knew this. Some of it was done by Polyphony Digital. I don't remember who else there was, or even if we knew. But this company, I don't know what their name is yet, was responsible for the cinematics and LOD. Alias, Power Animator, and Soft Image 3D were used. Yes, I figured that out recently. Quality animation was completely natural. Quote, I first thought of using Soft Image 3D in a movie with The Legend of Dragoon. From there, I aimed to create the same texture as Alias's software and Soft Image 3D. I think I achieved that goal to a certain extent. It required some ingenuity with textures and shading, but I was able to make them match up to the point where there was almost no difference, said Ihara. The company's quality control and efforts are also outstanding. Growing need for real-time movies. My phone is upside down. That's probably part of the problem. All right, next column. Darn it. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. It's making it hard to read. With the advent of PS2, production of real-time movies is now on the rise. Significant limitations in the polygon counts. Soft image is an easy-to-use tool. And Ihara-san also expressed desire to work on CG production for television shows and movies. So he was branching out at the time. Alright, let's take a look at the little images down here. Just says Legend of Dragoon, scene from a movie produced by Sony Computer Entertainment. All motion is done by hand. And is this Ihara? No, it's... Yeah, it is Takeo Inohara. Might be him. I'm not sure how to even say this company's name, but suffice to say, this company was asked to work on Legend of Dragoon, and it's got two little still images from the Divine Dragon FMV. Might be worth scanning. The Divine Dragon one in particular looks like it was enhanced, and like they took the still and then they enhanced it because the eyes look extra red. Extra red. Hopefully this isn't all that's in here. I'm gonna check something really quick. Digital DNA. It's called the Avid Express page. Is that what this is? I'm not sure. Yes, Avid Express on the bottom. Okay. Raphael, Digit, and Studio Co. contracted to produce the movie for the scene in which the Shinryo flies is introduced. There isn't much talk about LOD. Okay, so this is correct then. This source was correct. There wasn't much about LOD, but at least we learned a little bit more about one of the background companies that made at least this specific FMV of the Divine Dragon first arriving to Leningrad, and we see this really fun-looking mouse mount. I love that so much. All right, so then there's another CG World magazine, 6 pages long. There's another CG World magazine, 6 pages long, that I need to find. It seems like the one that I had. So the CG World magazine I had with these pages is a summary of the magazine I don't have and may contain additional information. That's why I'm hunting that down. So there's at least one more magazine I have to hunt down from that specific line of magazines. Wow. Okay. We went through a whole bunch of cool magazines. There's a whole bunch of treasure in here. It's not just for LOD. These magazines are extremely hard to come by now. You know, sure, there might be 50 or 70 or even 100 still in existence, but they're going to be sitting in garages or storage unit boxes. You never know. This is history, and at least in most cases, magazine companies don't tend to archive their material and make it available for free reading online. They'll sometimes do back issue stuff, but I went to CG World, and their back issues don't go back this far, unfortunately. Not anymore. So, hopefully, you know, if you're passionate about game history or any kind of fandom history, you know, if the company has some contact info, write a letter saying, you know, it would be great if they could archive their historic collection, like, say, once it's 2 years old or a year old or something, that they just make it freely viewable online. Publish their own high-res content so we don't have to deal with having to sometimes pay extra money for these things that are more than they should be worth, and sometimes scanning them on archive.org, but then the scan is low quality. Like, it would be nice if the magazine companies just did that from the get-go, so we could have a wealth of history at our disposal. So, to summarize, we have CG World. I'll put some of the packing back in here. We have Hyper PlayStation Non-Remix. We have a Famitsu magazine. I have several of these now. I don't think I even read the names of some of these. This might be a Dengeki for all I know. I didn't check. Hyper PlayStation Remix. PlayStation D. And Designplex. Several incredible nuggets in here, whether it's the random 3D render of a Virage that I've never seen before, or the sketch of either Shauna or Shirley with the alternate art design. Vastly amazing. I'm so glad I followed up on these little breadcrumbs that I found. Jesus Christ. So some of this stuff will be summarized in our next news article. I'll probably just do a whole article on magazines in general, highlighting the new stuff that just came in. But we'll have to do like a whole breakdown of all of the magazine stuff we've been doing. I already have a list of magazines in a spreadsheet, and we're marking off which ones we've acquired so far, which ones we've confirmed what's in the contents of them or not. Anything that's review or is nothing special, we're ignoring. Anything that has a single specific piece of rare information, we're documenting it. It's fantastic. So, just goes to show that even 25 years later, sometimes you can find a crap ton of breadcrumbs, thanks almost entirely to the internet and what few fragments happened to be saved by random people or by a Google web crawler bot. I'm kind of speechless now. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully that has made you all very happy. This is part of what I wanted to demonstrate with Dragoon Fest. New reveals, building up our resources so that there's even more stuff to enjoy and knowledge to share with one another. Because the common info is always going to be fun to reflect on, but personally, I am not sated by, spending the rest of my life enjoying screenshots of Dart doing Volcano or whatever. Like, I want to go deeper and see what else there is. Stuff that we should have been able to know this whole time. But due to things like regional access and whatever, it got almost lost to time. So we're going to recover as much as we can for you. And thank you so much for being on this journey with us, with me. We're going to have some more events coming up. We got the podcast on Saturday. I got to work out the details for that. We're going to have other streams just in general to guide things. We're going to be doing some guided art and music creation stuff, because we've had like art events in the past and we've done music mixes. We're going to kind of do a hybrid event with the winter theme. That's going to be coming up soon. Lots to look forward to. So I'm going to take a breather for a sec and drink some water. If y'all have any questions, this is the time before I end the stream, so I'll give you a minute. But thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Matt, again, for your donation. I'm hoping I can make a living out of this one day, whether through my archivism efforts and other things. Let me actually put my face back on here. I am not just a hand, I am a whole entire person. I am a whole person. Let's see if I can re-enable that blur. Alright, so if y'all find this stuff interesting, like and subscribe. Subscribing will get you some video recommendations from our channel every so often. You can tick the bell if you're a super fan of LOD. We're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff going on through Dragoon Fest over this next several months. And if you find it extra worth it and you're looking for ways you can contribute to the fandom, you can do that by joining one of our community projects, working on the wiki, translation stuff if you happen to have any specific skills. If you don't have skills, we have several projects that don't require any skill at all, just some simple data entry, helping us research, test bugs on severed chains, and so on. And if you don't have time to help with those things, that's totally cool too. We do have a donation track as well. There's a donation for Monoxide, the lead developer of Severed Chains, if you want to support SC, the community-built PC port. And then for general fandom services and things like that, the website, the archivism that I do and everything, I have a personal Ko-fi as well. I'll link that in the chat. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up here, and I'm really, really happy that you all find this valuable. I find it valuable, obviously. I'm pretty much beside myself that I was able to secure this many legacy magazines from a whole nother country. Like, even just 3 years ago, I had no idea how to do any of this, and now I'm learning. And it's a whole weird, wacky world with tracking this stuff down. I swear to you, it's weird, it's nuts, but it's super worth it. Super, super worth it. There's gonna be so many goodies coming to you all as we post this stuff on the website and do more streams exposing this stuff live. So, checking the chat, see if there's any questions. Y'all are so heartwarming. It's gonna make me melt. Alright, so it looks like that's all then. I've already said everything I need to say, I guess. So we'll be talking to you soon, and keep enjoying Dragoon Fest. Happy Dragoon Fest, everybody. I'll see you all on Discord or at the next YouTube thing, whatever it's going to be. Good night. Where's my button? There's the button.